Yes guys, welcome back to another YouTube video. In today's video, I'm going to be going over the only way to reveal your lower abs, okay? As you can see, I have them. I have my upper abs, I have my lower abs. This is not Photoshop, they are there, they are solid. How did I get them? Why do I have them? Why don't you have them? Let's dive in. Now, we often hear that lower abs are stubborn. People have stubborn body fats, okay? Fucking hell, I might start that one again, and we'll keep it in. The abs on men, yeah, tend to be the last place for fat to come off, okay? Which means that you need to be in your calorie deficit for probably a little bit longer than you want to be. And we all know that when we start to diet for a long time, it gets very, very hard, it gets very uncomfortable, you get very hungry, and most people bottle it, okay? This is why I don't want to say the word diet, but this is why your eating routine is so important, okay? Diets have a start point and an end point. When the diet ends, we tend to eat a load of food and put body fat on, okay? You need to have a healthy way of eating, which means not starving yourself, which means enjoying the foods you like, which means, not being in such a heavy deficit that you're absolutely knackered all the time. It's about being in a very small calorie deficit, 200 to 300 calories below your maintenance. It's about increasing your output as high as you can so you can eat more food. It's about having a decent amount of muscle in the first place by going through proper gaining phases so you can actually diet on a good number of calories and don't have to diet down on 1,500 calories just to have a six pack. The biggest issue I see with men, I've coached hundreds of men, I coach 70 men at the moment. The biggest issue I see is people cannot sustain their deficit long enough, because people will say they want to get shredded and they will, they'll drop their carbs out their diet. They won't drink for 12 weeks. They go into hermit mode. They lock in. The boys lock in for 12 weeks where they don't see anyone. And who can maintain that? Who can maintain a 12-week lock-in? The whole point of getting in shape is that you actually look good all the time. Why do people just get in shape for a photo shoot these days, look lean for 3 days, and then they're fat for the rest of the year? What have I missed here? I have been lean for about 10 years straight, okay? I went on one dirty bulk where I got a little bit fat, and after 4 weeks I was lean again. Why do people go on these stupid plans that they can't sustain? This is why I built my entire coaching system to help people, probably like you who's watching this, who diets down and gets lean once a year and then he's fat for 10 months of the year. There is a better way, guys. So now we know this, okay? We know that we can't really go on a diet. If you want to have lower abs, okay, it means getting pretty lean. There's lean, there's very lean, and then there's shredded. I would like to avoid getting shredded in this video. You can be lean, very lean, and have a great midsection, okay? So we know to do this, we need to have muscle, guys. So you need to be building muscle or have built some muscle. If you're just a random guy, you've never trained before, and you go into a heavy deficit, you will just look terrible. If you look at my abs, I have built them, okay? That isn't just from doing, crunches and leg raises. Yes, of course, I do weighted leg raises, I do weighted crunches, I do ab wheels, I do my core work, I do, these sort of movements, weighted carries, and I do some direct ab work. But I have built my abs over time from building muscle over the years, by squatting for years, by deadlifting for years, by hip hinging for years, by doing weighted chin-ups, kind of works your abs. I won't say weighted dips, but chin-ups will work your abs. You don't want to sway too much from the bar. These big compound movements that have allowed me to build a lot of muscle on my frame allow me to eat more calories, okay? So that I can get leaner on more food. If you can get leaner on more food, you're gonna be able to sustain your diet. Imagine if I said to you, right, to get abs, you have to eat 1,600 calories a day, or you can spend a year being sensible, building muscle in a steady surplus, and then in 12 months' time, you can have abs with loads of muscle on 2,500 calories a day. Who do you think is gonna have a better time keeping his abs? This guy over here. This guy over here, he's gonna hate his life and he's skinny anyway, so what's the point of having abs? And I wanna show you some of my clients, okay? I wanna show you Rob and Simon, who got pretty lean, but as you can see, they don't have their lower abs in. These guys didn't go the extra mile. They're 4 weeks away from being in top shape. So I'm not calling them out here because they're friends of mine, they're clients, whatever, but these two guys here, as you can see, they're in great shape. They're lean, of course, they're well muscled, but they simply needed 4 to 6 more weeks to go from lean to very, very lean. And the whole look changes, okay? The whole look changes if these boys would have just done 4 more weeks. And I want to show you another, I'm not going to say his name, I'm going to show you another guy. This guy went all the way. And as you can see, the extra 3 to 4 weeks when you go from lean to kind of very lean, suddenly, boom, the lower abs pop. But as you can see, guys, one thing I kind of want to make really clear is there's not a huge difference between these guys. They still look great. So a lot of the time when people are chasing, trying to get shredded, those lower abs, really, you still look awesome with abs, with your top abs, okay? That 12% body fat range for men is still very, very, you still look amazing. And obviously that like 10% body fat, like this guy here, it is another level, but there's also, it's way harder. This guy had to dig way harder than these guys. Think he's already starving. He's already been dieting for a while. I think this one took 16 weeks. These guys took 12 weeks. Like it's a lot, but you have to be disciplined. And imagine these guys, because they obviously train with me, I had them on good plans. I had good food and they enjoyed. I had them all reverse diet out after this, okay? A lot of people, they'll diet down. They maybe will get shredded, will get lean, but they can't stick to it. All of these boys were able to stick to it. We then reversed them out, increased their calories, so they were able to maintain their condition. Okay, and this brings me to lifestyle, guys, as well. Like, we've spoken about how we don't want to be on a diet. We want to be eating healthy, okay? You want to have a certain number of calories to hit per day, yes, because that's how you stay in your deficit. If you're not tracking your food, it's very, very hard to get in great shape and stay there, because there's going to be days where you're super hungry, you're intuitively eating, you don't really know what you're doing. If you kind of know your calories, then you can fit way more flexibility in the week. If we know we're eating 2,000 calories a day, so if my deficit right now is 2,000 calories a day, and that's what I need to eat per day with my cardio, my steps, and my training dialed in to maintain a good level of body fat, okay, and have lower abs. I know that if I do 1,500 calories on Friday and Sunday, I can have 3,000 calories on Saturday. So although I suffer on Friday and Saturday, I can have a big social blowout with friends, food, alcohol, whatever, on Saturday, and maintain a 2,000 calorie average across the week at 14,000 calories. These are little tips and tricks that you can use if you're tracking. If you're just kind of like intuitively eating, you don't really know what you're doing, and you're gonna have days where you have high energy, low energy. I really recommend tracking your calories if you want to stay lean long term. I know it can be frustrating, and I know it's a ball ache, but I'm not saying you have to sit in MyFitnessPal forever and put in 2 bits of asparagus. You don't have to do that. You get to the point where you can eyeball it and you get very, very good and effective at knowing your calories. I do not use any food trackers. I just know my food. I eat the same kind of foods all the time, and I just kind of know what I can fit in. That just comes down to experience, and that is literally what it comes down to. That is what I teach you guys in my coaching, which is below, and on the course, which is below as well. It's literally all there. We need to make this as maintainable and sustainable as possible. Nobody wants to just get lean for 2 weeks. What is the point? And there's certain myths that I still see thrown out there, like, oh, every time I look at carbohydrates, I gain fat, I can't eat carbs. I had a guy DM me the other day saying, yeah, you know, I'm getting ready for a holiday, I'm just gonna no carb it for a month. I thought, oh my God, what a terrible life you're about to live. You're a 35-year-old man with kids, and you're gonna eat 0 carbohydrates for 30 days just to gain all that fat back after a week. What is the point? Just go fat and happy. You need a sustainable food plan. You need a sustainable training plan. You need to be doing cardio that you enjoy. You need to be doing steps and making them enjoyable. Like, I'm in Malta at the moment. Do you think it's gonna piss me off to walk along that beautiful shoreline all the way there and walk back and do my 10,000 steps? No, I fit it in. Do you think I'm going to be pissed off tomorrow morning when I'm swimming in the ocean doing my cardio? No. Obviously, if you're watching this in the UK and it's freezing, it's different, but you've got to be able to make this stuff a lifestyle. If you want to have 6-pack abs, look great, guys, you have to enjoy your training, yeah? You have to enjoy your eating. You have to enjoy the cardio you're doing. You need to try and be as active as possible. Obviously, otherwise you're pretty fucked and you're not going to enjoy it. And if you're not going to enjoy it, you're not going to stick to it. One more thing, because it's getting dark here. Guys, you can eat carbohydrates late at night. Fat burners don't work. Try and stay away from dodgy fat burners like Clen, Yohimbine, and all that stuff. Ozempic, retatrutide are getting very, very popular. I would really lean on the side of caution with these things. I'm going to do a whole video on retatrutide and a whole video on Ozempic, but I'm not going to do it today because today is not the time. But just to summarize, guys, if you want to get 6-pack, lower abs, and look great all the time, you need to Have a training plan that you absolutely love, maybe training with friends, following a split that you enjoy. This is why on my course, I preach about training 3 times a week and 4 times a week, and trying to avoid 5-6 day a week training weeks, because unless you are an absolute loser with no life, you probably don't have time, okay? I am an online coach, I have a coaching business, and I do content, and I only train 4 days a week. I could train 14 times a week, but I have a life, okay? You need to enjoy your food. I really recommend counting calories so you know your deficit, sitting just below your maintenance, not way below your maintenance, just below your maintenance. Having as much food in your day as possible while still being able to drop body fat, which means you really want to be driving your output, your cardio and steps up as much as possible. So you really want to be doing as much steady state cardio as possible, and doing the cardio you enjoy. Paddle, boxing, if you love like martial arts, just jumping on a bike, swimming, light jog, power walks, all of these things. Try and avoid high intensity interval training. I know I've just said boxing and it's high intensity. I know, don't call me out. But like when you do HIIT training, when you're trying to stay super lean, it's very fatiguing. It affects training, it affects your lift, it increases your appetite. I would always recommend steady state cardio, guys, when you're trying to stay lean, okay? And I think that's that. I'm gonna leave this one here. Guys, if you like this video, of course, my premium coaching is below. I only take on specific people now. Now I'm getting quite busy, so only jump onto that if you're serious. My course is below. Very, very cheap. It's $50 as a one-time payment. I'm going to be doing weekly calls on there soon and changing it up soon. If not, I appreciate you watching the videos anyway, and I'll see you guys in the next one.